Welcome back to Conversation to Close. This is Sean. And today I'm going to be explaining how to properly break down what a subject to is when you're speaking to someone that doesn't really understand it. I hear so many new people who are new to creative financing or new to wholesaling explain it off. What I hear mostly is our investor is going to assume your mortgage, our investor is going to take over that mortgage. That's not the correct way to explain it. You want to make sure that you're using the correct terminology so that everyone knows what's going on correctly and you seem like you're being honest because you should be. The proper way to explain a subject to a seller or a real estate agent is as follows. Our investor is going to subject to, and for those of you that don't know, subject to the current mortgage is that entire subject to phrase. So our investor is going to service the monthly payment of your mortgage on your behalf through a third party escrow company. That is a fancy way of saying our investor is going to make that mortgage payment for you, and we're going to do it through an escrow company to make sure that it's done properly. Let me explain further how that works. Now, what I'm about to explain to you happens instantly, but I'm breaking it down in steps so that you can explain it. So, first, let's start off with the setup. About a week or so before your subject to or your hybrid deal is closing, the escrow officer is going to call the seller and say, I need your mortgage login information for your account. Then that same escrow officer is going to call the buyer and say, I need your account number and your routing number for whatever account you want to use to make this mortgage payment once we close. Then that escrow officer is going to take that bank account information and attach it and set up automatic payments for the first of every month to pay that mortgage. Once the deal closes and that first payment and every subsequent payment after that starts to roll through, here's what it looks like. And here's the part that happens instantly, but I'm going to break it down into steps. At midnight, when the payment is due, the money is drafted from the buyer's bank account. It passes through escrow so that escrow can check it off like, yep, that payment was made this month. And then it's instantly sent to the mortgage company to pay the mortgage. Again, this happens instantly, but the reason why we do this is that if for whatever reason, 1 month the buyer's payment, their auto draft, doesn't come through, it can be insufficient funds, closed bank account, whatever. Escrow is notified immediately. They notify the seller, and then they all start reaching out to the buyer like, hey, we need to get this paid. And then after that, if it doesn't get paid, then the deed in lieu that we build into the contract kicks in. And I'll do another video on that. I hope that answers your question. Make sure that you're explaining subject to correctly. We're not assuming the mortgage. We are not taking over the mortgage. The mortgage is still going to be in the seller's name at closing. We're just making the mortgage payment. Hope that answers your question. Have a great